Hello everyone, I'm CJ Werleman. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Now let's get into it. Guys, I urge you to pay attention to what's happening in Indian-occupied Kashmir right now, because the lives of nearly 10 million Muslims are now in immediate danger. Mind you, paying attention to Kashmir isn't an easy thing to do, because not a single major news outlet is reporting on the human rights apocalypse that's taking place right now in the Indian-occupied territory. And the vital story that's been hidden from the world is the Indian government has not only criminalized all forms of freedom of speech, having jailed thousands of activists and journalists, but also now moving to criminalize their religious belief, Islam. And it's not like the Indian occupation forces are being sneaky about it. They're straight up calling for the same kind of de-radicalization and re-education camps China is using to force Uyghur Muslims to abandon their religious faith.
Pakistan's Foreign Office condemns Indian Chief of Defence Staff's suggestion of putting Kashmiri children into so-called de-radicalization camps. In a statement, the Foreign Office said such remarks reflect extremist mindset of India's state institutions. It said India has turned Kashmir into the world's largest prison, with 8 million locked up since August last year.
If that doesn't send a chill down the back of your neck, then I don't know what more to tell you. Other than to say this, that when you hear a government or occupying power use the word terrorism and de-radicalization, then you can be pretty sure something really bad is about to be done to a Muslim population. Every time President Bush said those words, another Muslim got tortured at Guantanamo Bay. And every time President Obama said the same thing, another wedding got bombed in Pakistan. But for now, China has become the grand master of war on terror discourse. It has added the words separatism and extremism to terrorism to justify its crackdown in Xinjiang, where upwards of 5 million Uyghurs have been detained and Islam criminalized. And it's clear India is now following the China model in its crackdown on Muslims in Kashmir, a drip-by-drip approach that starts with banning specific Islamic schools and organizations under the false pretext of security.
Late last month, the central government banned Jamaat-e-Islami, arrested scores of its leaders and sealed off their homes in Indian-administered Kashmir. There's been widespread anger in the community. Many feel Muslims are being deliberately targeted and accused of being sympathetic to so-called terror organizations. It's an accusation people here deny and say the government in New Delhi is vilifying them for their faith and beliefs.
The Modi regime will continue to crack down on Muslims until there's nothing left to show of Islam in the disputed territory.
There has been a vindictive attitude towards Muslims consistently ever since Indian rule started in J&K. This attitude has become more profound and more sarcastic during the present BJP rule. When Hindu nationalists dominate India, they invent new places of religion for Hindus, whereas curtail the religious practices of Muslims.
Earlier this month, Indian occupation forces even denied Muslims their right to celebrate the Islamic holiday of Eid by shutting down mosques and banning them from prayer. Soon Islam will be wiped clean from Kashmir, the same way Islam no longer exists in Uyghur land, other than in a watered down and perverted Chinese government mandated form.
When Xi Jinping himself says that if you have to be Muslim, you have to be Muslim in a Chinese way, this is a very clear indication of the fact that we tell you how to be Muslim. You are Muslim, but we will tell you what being Muslim is like, otherwise it's too bad for you.
Clearly, India has borrowed the same strategies used by China to ethnically cleanse Uyghur Muslims at breakneck speed, because nobody is doing genocide better than the Chinese government today. But whereas the United States rightly calls China's persecution of Uyghur Muslims a genocide, it keeps its mouth firmly shut about the exact same thing taking place in Indian-occupied Kashmir. You see, from the moment the Indian government suddenly stripped Kashmir of its semi-autonomous status in 2019, it has only ever had one goal in mind: to transform the territory's Muslim identity into one that mirrors a Hindu majority Indian state. And it's doing this today by diluting the territory with Hindu settlers, the same way China has flooded Xinjiang with Han Chinese settlers since the early 2000s. And both China and Israel take their inspiration from Israel.
Because we already have a model in the world. I don't know why we don't follow it. It has happened in the Middle East. You have to look at if the Israeli people can do it, we can also do it.
The Indian government has now stripped Kashmiri Muslims of their property rights, even nulling and voiding any property transaction which a Kashmiri Muslim purchased land or property from a Kashmiri Hindu in the 1990s. This new law basically accuses Kashmiri Muslims of being illegal squatters in their own homes they rightfully purchased decades ago. The Indian government has also set aside $270 million to settle Hindus in Kashmir, but not as friendly and peaceful neighbours, but as arms and tools of the Modi regime to build new military checkpoints, separation barriers, outposts and watchtowers, all of which is meant to cement a system of legalised discrimination akin to Israel's apartheid colonial rule in the Palestinian West Bank and China's colonial rule in Xinjiang. And while all of this is going on, the Indian regime has cut Kashmiris off from the rest of the world by disconnecting and limiting their phone and internet services to keep its human rights abuses hidden from view, which is why we must do more to tell their story to the rest of the world. And what Kashmiri Muslims want you to know is this: they hate the Indian occupation, they want a right to determine their own future, but more specifically, they want the United Nations plebiscite promised to them 75 years ago. But standing in the way is the Indian government, which is now committed to using the same strategy China is using against Uyghur Muslims in Xinjiang, that strategy being genocide. Therefore, the United States and its Western democratic allies have a solemn moral obligation to raise their voices for Muslims in Kashmir as loudly as they have for Muslims in Xinjiang. Because nobody is free until everybody is free. Anyway, that's my time for today. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we kindly ask you please support this endeavour by becoming a member of this show at patreon.com/CJWillerman. We can't produce, sustain and grow this show without your help. We offer exclusive benefits to those who do. But for now, good night, good morning or good day, wherever you are, and stay blessed.